Hey, hello, I'm Kråkan, also known as Corvus Cornix, so welcome to Yacc, yet another Cast where I pick a game, I play for a week, and then I talk about it. This week's game is Monument Valley for the PS5. It was released in 2025, and it's a single-player puzzle experimental art game developed by Us2 Games and also published by them, and also spoilers up ahead just so you know, but first a little backstory. So this game looked interesting, but the problem I had was it wasn't actually released. So it was an upcoming release, that's what I'm trying to say. So I've had a PSN account since the early PS3 era, but I never added a game to my wish list. But I'm glad I did because this game is actually really good. So I need to clarify something. This game was originally released for the iOS back in 2014, later for Windows in 2022, and now for the PS5 in 2025. So the plot goes like this. You play as Princess Ida, and she's returning some geometry that was stolen at the end of each puzzle, so it's hinted at that she might be the thief all along and having some regrets. So the game starts right away. You control Ida by moving the left stick and pushing the X button to move there, and you can only click on surfaces that are reachable or viewable. So in the first level you interact with the handle to move a beam. So this game is all about environmental puzzle solving. So think, the view is like an isometric illusion, so if something overlaps over another, it most likely creates a bridge for Ida to walk on. And the perspective is more than enough. There are some later levels where you change perspective, but it's mostly fixed. So when you beat the first level, you move on to reveal the monumental logo and valley, and then it's time for Chapter 2. Chapter 2, Ida embarks on a quest for forgiveness. So she steps on buttons and moving the centerpiece, and eventually climbing up to the top where she takes her hat off and reveals some wire cube and clearing the stage. Chapter 3. Ida has an unexpected meeting, moving platforms by sliding them physically, entering a structure on the top of it to interact with a light blue lady, and more vertical puzzles. Chapter 4. Ida discovers a new way to walk. So on this lake there are some structures, some more handle action, more pushing buttons, and there's also a crow creature dangling its feet over an edge. Later moving on to another structure where you can change the angles, you actually walk on the walls. And then you meet the blue light lady again. Chapter 5. Ida encounters the bothersome crow people. So the puzzle here is to avoid or redirect the upcoming crows. And if you get too close to them, they get annoyed and start to, crow at you. So later into the game you interact with a movable object called a totem. And the totem is used to push buttons and used as a makeshift platform. And even later into the game you interact with a box, and this box is kind of interesting because it's like a toy box. You open it up, you have different layers and stuff. So Ida walks between the layers and the perspective is all weird, and she walks in the ceiling and on walls, and it's really interesting how, it's like a little mystery box. You try to solve things. I'm just gonna move on to the summary now because I realized that talking about puzzles isn't that interesting, and I don't think I'm doing that good of a job actually trying to explain it. So, gameplay. Guide Princess Ida through the individual environmental puzzles and progress. Control. The left stick moves the cursor around, and pushing the triangle, X, square or circle button makes Ida walk to that location if it's visible or accessible. The option menu brings up the photo mode, the main menu, and the settings. Graphics. So this game was made in the Unity engine, and it's based on the drawings of Ken Wong. And according to Wikipedia, he was inspired by Fez and Japanese prints. So the colors are really soft and warm and vibrant. And they have simple shapes and they're actually gorgeous. Sound and music. Stafford Brawler, Obfusc, and Gregorio made the soundtrack for this game. And it's very ambient, but where the game actually shines is in the sound design. Because when you interact with buttons and handles, it just sounds really good. Easter eggs, secrets, and glitches. I couldn't find any. I wasn't really digging around either, if I'm honest. But this game is very much in the style of Fez, even to the art style and game mechanics. I wouldn't be surprised if there are some Easter eggs in there about that. So in conclusion, I wrote, yes, try it if you like Fez. So I like the design, a lot of simple color choices, the music is ambient, the sound design is just nice when you interact with things. The puzzles aren't that challenging, they're mostly logical, and the game isn't that expensive. It's a nice little chill puzzler. So if you're into that, then this is a game you have to pick up. So anyway, thanks for listening and or watching, and take care.